Hello and welcome back for session 3 of Reign of Discordia Arctangent. You join our intrepid crew of the DHL delivery. Um, they were on Eseth. They had went to an old observatory to plug in this black box thing that they got a hold of. And suffices to say, things went a bit mental. The computers all suddenly went off, and they heard a distress call saying that the orbiting space station, which uh, appears not to be orbiting anymore, is heading towards your general direction, and the impact is going to cause a major. Well, it's going to be a bad day for a lot of people.
It is still orbiting. It's just the orbit is decreasing rapidly.
Yes, yes. Um, otherwise, there's a technical term for it called falling. Um,
I believe the term is descending.
I would add the adverb rapidly.
Yeah, descending implies that there's some control involved.
Well, technically it's a controlled descent, just not by any one person. It's not people who are making it descend.
I know we were going to run away. The plan was to run away.
Mhm.
We're not going to try and resolve the issue in any sort of form. We are just going to continue.
Wait, should we do introductions first? Need to
Yeah,
have...
let Ronnie finish his exposition thing.
Yes. Just in
And
case somebody tunes in.
Hello, tune in people.
Okay, no, don't say hello. There's no one there. But just in case.
There may be later. Oh, there is now. There is now.
Hello, person. Wow, the graphics on this game look really good. That is so lifelike. I love what you've done with my avatar. Of course, in real life, I'm a lot hotter, but wow, you even got camera tracking. So cool.
What, hotter than 29 degrees?
Yeah.
And you were deciding, and it's literally a case of decide now, or you reckon there's maybe 29, maybe half an hour, give or take, before this thing crashes into the ground. The resulting explosion will be not healthy for you. The kind of roll new characters kind of unhealthy. So, would everyone like to introduce themselves? Starting with, let's see if I can get my angles. Yes, I've got the angle right. Jayson.
I'm not used to doing this. This is the first time we've introduced ourselves the whole campaign. I believe I'm still playing the same character as at the very start. My name is made up of vibrations, but in regular speak, it's Joey. That's because I am from Relara, so I'm basically a giant crustacean type character. Very hefty, very physical. The whole computer thing was definitely not my fault, by the way, because I can't possibly do computer tech at all, so I'm taking zero responsibility for this.
So have you got crabs?
Yes, I do have crabs.
And Phil.
Phil,
Moving swiftly along.
I'm playing Tyrrell, ace pilot of the DHL, which is our fantastic ship. Also, not responsible for the crashing space station and the computer World Wide Web going out. So yeah.
And Becky.
Hi, I'm Becky. I'm playing Simara, who is an insect, and that is because I am the face character of this particular group.
That's the most introduction I've heard you do for ages.
I have really, really beautiful mandibles.
I'm sure the insects out here will love it.
Anyway, you're at the observatory. All hell is breaking loose, and you have just heard that distress call.
Mm-hmm.
Plans, actions, thoughts, options.
Yes.
Right, we disconnect the thing that we plugged in,
Yeah.
pocket that, head to the car,
Yeah.
start the engine, and if the others are quick enough to get in the car before I accelerate, we'll all
Mhm.
head off.
Oh yeah. I'm absolutely sprinting towards the car. First thing I'm thinking
Okay.
of.
Yeah, we've got to head back as soon as we can. But
Right.
we're not even attempting to fix this though.
No, what? You want to stand underneath the point of impact to try and prevent the impact?
No, I mean we could possibly maybe do something for the ship when we go off planet. Maybe.
Is
I suppose
your
what we-
mother or child on board the space station? So you've not got any vested interest. Is
No.
anyone going to pay you to save the space station?
We might get a reward for stopping it.
I suppose what we could do, if there's like a big satellite dish on this observatory, we could try and turn it upside down so it's almost like a giant umbrella to stop the impact.
This is my thinking. All evidence that we were here is about to be destroyed.
Yes.
And if we're not quick, so are we.
I love
Okay.
Phil's idea that that you might get a reward for saving everyone from the problem that you helped create.
Yeah, but
It's
they don't know that.
it's kind of like finding out that your local fire department's full of arsonists.
The problem with that, Tyrrell, is the moment that they investigate our successful saving of them. The fact that we saved them means all the evidence that we were here is still there.
That's true.
Will you two hurry up?
Well, it's like Apple, isn't it? You create the problem, sell the solution.
Less talking, more getting in the bloody car.
Samara, I need a driving roll from you, please, because I assume you are not driving back at a leisurely pace.
I am driving back at a pace that will use one of those fate point thingies if necessary. In fact, I do use one. Because I rolled a 1.
We roll.
Okay, that is a lot better. 21.
Okay. I mean, it's a little difficult sometimes on the corners. You can see that, that, as I said in the last session, there's the population of this particular city has decreased somewhat from its heyday,
a lot more,
and it's about to decrease a lot more. And as such, everyone's panicking.
Technically, the population is going to go up as the space station's falling. So it's going to hit a new peak, isn't it? So
Before hitting quite an abrupt trough.
Yeah, but from a certain point in time, we have actually helped this planet, this city, to recover.
Whatever helps you sleep at night.
Always looking on the bright side.
That's the most insane bit of glass half full thinking.
Yeah, we need to get back to the ship as well, in case someone's trying to steal it to get off planet.
And for all those with regards to conviction points, you all start back with your full amount. Because I know people used.
Well, I've not spent any, actually.
Well, means you don't get any. Okay, it's pretty hairy on the roads. Sort of people trying to get in, crossing roads and trying to get into vehicles and start them up.
People crossing roads isn't a problem because we're in a flying metal box.
Right. When you said there was that moment where you were going to help increase the population, you didn't stipulate that on the way to the station you were going to temporarily decrease the population before temporarily increasing it before devastatingly decreasing it.
Not necessarily decreasing it, because it takes quite a while to die from injuries like that.
That depends how fast you're going.
This is sounding very much like the time that Felix went careering through India and just mowed everybody down.
The corporation game, when you were on the Kangaroo City. No, you were on the Sydney Opera House chasing the Kangaroo City.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I recall.
Point was, we killed lots and lots of people and then went into a big
believe the death toll
multi-story.
of that episode was 85
Several
billion,
million?
wasn't it?
Okay.
Yeah, possibly.
It did end in thermonuclear
Yes.
destruction across East
So-
Asia. Anyway, sorry, different game.
My question is, are we
do
getting
this one.
close to that?
No.
It says in the book how many people. How big is this space station? Is it really big, really massive? Is it?
Is it moon-sized?
It's not quite moon-sized, but I mean, it's going to the speed of the descent when it actually impacts. It's going to cause a hell of an explosion, almost nuclear, given the kind of energy cells that it's got. The explosion is going to be very wide, very vast, very deadly, and the only nice thing that can possibly be said for the inhabitants is that they'll never see it coming, apart from the fact they're going to see it coming.
Well, you say the only nice thing, but of course they'll need to build a new one, so they're actually going to get a shiny new space station out of this.
What planet are we on?
Think of the economic opportunities as the government contracts help regrow their economy.
Somewhat downplayed by the fact that there may not be enough people to actually rebuild a new station.
Well, not in this city, but it's not the only one.
There's 1.5 billion people on the planet.
1.5 billion. Okay.
Yeah.
How many?
I think you're slowly breaking Ronnie.
How many people live in this city?
Don't say.
I have a feeling that the number is going to be irrelevant in about 20 minutes. You arrive back at the station. It is absolute carnage.
Okay, well, unfortunately, it's going to be a lot worse because I'm imagining crowds of people blocking the road.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'll accelerate in order to have momentum because we are getting to our ship. And they're not going to survive anyway.
The funny thing is in my notes, I actually refer to you guys as the heroes. I'm going to stop doing that and just say the character.
Yeah, don't bother.
Look, it's all a matter of context. One person's hero is another person's terrorist.
And you're embracing the context. Right, okay. You have arrived at the station, mowing through people like badly needing grass.
In fairness, I will warn them first by blowing the horn.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm happy to kind of lean out of the window and well, not bellow because I haven't got vocal cords, but vibrate. Get out of the way!
Have we brought this box back with us? The box we had.
Yeah.
I thought so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll be
not
holding
leaving
on.
that behind.
I'll be holding on.
Somebody
I'll
will
be
pay
sitting
a
in the back seat
fortune for
holding on
this
to it.
tech.
As you enter the space station, it is carnage. You notice a few things almost immediately. One, people are trying to get themselves onto any ship that they can possibly get a hold of. Two, it looks like the computer systems are down here as well.
Oh, great.
Which isn't helping with the fact that, air traffic control, for want of a better word, are flying blind.
I think we have a backup plan for this, don't we?
Yeah.
And three, when I say people are trying to get onto every ship, I mean there are people trying to get onto every ship.
Oh, they're trying to get onto our ship then. They're trying to
Yeah,
get
well,
into
that's what
the
Tyrrell said before.
I don't know if you recall, but we did explicitly state in the last episode that we were pressing the button for the beep beeps and the indicator flashing. That does
Yes.
mean we were locking the door.
Yes,
So-
they have not been able to get in, but that doesn't
Okay.
mean they aren't trying.
We have to
So
clear
I
our way.
park the car sideways in a clearance fashion past the door, just to empty out the density of people immediately around the door, so that we can open it and close it again very quickly as we get on board.
Okay. As you sort of get out, there's people. Let us on! For God's sake, there's no ships moving. Come on!
We draw our weapons to try and just keep them back. I mean, if people start getting too close, we have to maybe shoot a couple.
The
Wait,
minute you
hold-
draw your ship, the minute you draw your weapons, there's a few of us immediately draw theirs. And say, you're definitely gonna let us on this ship.
You're trying to take on a spaceship with a pop gun.
I stand up to my full height when I get out to try and be a bit behind and kind of do hands up. Can just all put them down. Let's all calm down. And I turn back to the other two and say, you are missing a trick here. We can get them on.
How many can we take? Because it's 20 grand a pop.
Exactly. I was just about to say, let's charge them. They will pay anything.
No money, airlock.
Let's not have no local currency either.
You could take maybe. I mean, if everyone's squeezing in, you could maybe take 24.
Okay, let's take like 15.
Why?
We haven't got enough tea bags.
She's got to cook for those.
T minus 15 minutes.
All right, yeah, we'll go right. Riches to the front. Cash, but cash out, cash only. If you have less money than the person behind you, I'm sending you to the back of the queue.
Should we
Sort
tell them
yourselves
that
out.
there's a 14-minute wait?
That is literally what I'm commanding.
As you're kind of doing that, I'm gonna kind of go in and open everything up so Tyrrell can get into the the driver's seat nice and quick.
Okay. Right, Tyrrell. This becomes a moment for you. You have two options really.
Yeah.
You can use your normal thrusters, and yes, I can. Becky's seeing where the other options going already.
Oh, we already had that conversation just in code a little. 5 minutes ago.
You can use your normal thrusters and head out to the atmosphere. You will have to make a couple of very smart piloting rolls because space station is incoming.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to deliberately try and fly the heck away from where it is.
Well, I think we need to obviously get off the planet as fast as possible. I mean, I don't know if
Crazy Ivan could work.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's good for actually getting off the ground initially, or do we have to get up and then? But the fastest way of getting off the ground.
Casualties doesn't matter. So
the fastest way to get off the ground is for you to, and I'm
Go
reluctantly going to say this, is to engage the ion drive.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if that works from a standing start, fair enough. Also, we'll want to go away from the impact as well. So in that direction.
90 to tangent, isn't it?
Yeah. No,
you will require to make a piloting roll because
okay. Piloting roll. Okay, so
And this has to be big. Well, what are you doing first? You going thrusters, or you engaging the ion drive?
The only reason I would do thrusters is if I need to turn the ship for the direction we want to go, but then it's ion drive straight off.
Okay.
Okay, so that's 18 plus my piloting is 8, so that's 26.
Okay. Right. You managed to get. I mean, when you start getting to 10 or 11, you're already starting to see people saying, "Oh, but my children! Wait, that my husband's just over there. He'll only be a couple of minutes."
I turn to the people that are on the ship and
Yeah.
kind of grab onto something and say, "Strap yourselves in, nomads."
It's verse 15. After that, I shoot 2 people and close the door because that creates enough of a gap that I can get the door closed.
Okay.
Okay, so the ship will rise a few feet and turn for the direction we want. Then it'll...
Okay, engage the ion drive. You made your piloting roll and you made it well enough. You do fly out. I mean, you're flying out and you can actually see the shadow of the space station.
Oh, we're actually under the shadow, are we?
Yeah. This is where this is why the piloting roles were becoming necessary.
Okay, so ion drive was a good idea, really.
Well, if you'd used the thrusters, you would have to have made a couple of rolls just to keep out of its way.
Quick, do a mental Igor. Because I imagine Crazy Ivan is copyrighted or something.
Hang on, I've got to pull this lever in the engine room at just the right moment.
Still, that's a good scene.
Have we got a lever like that?
I don't think it's copyrighted at all. I think it's an actual term.
Oh,
They
is it
just
really?
used it.
All right.
Well, he does do an awful lot of research for those books.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Clancy.
Oh, yeah. It's apparently a real thing with submarines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it from Hunt for Red October. Because it happens
is
twice in that film.
a maneuver in a twin-engine vessel that could create a spinning motion on a ship by having one engine running in reverse. And then the other. There you go. That is Crazy Ivan.
Oh, we could do that if we flashy about it.
Because in Hunt for Red October, the Russian submarines will do a 360 just to make sure no one's following them.
There's a Soviet submarine maneuver, as Jayson was saying, a series of sudden sharp turns.
Yeah. It's known as, US Navy refer to it as Crazy Ivan.
Fun fact for the person watching.
And all you can do, and as it says in the film, because I've not read the novel, all you can do is just stop all the engines and make like a big hole in the water.
Our streams are fun and educational.
Though I think that first thing, actually, I've just checked what the link was, and it was the thing that I said was actually the Firefly database. So that was bullshit.
Yeah. I looked underneath that.
So yes, not copyrighted, unless the US Navy is doing patents for.
Wouldn't put it past them. They are American. Got to fund that military somehow.
Anyway, so you escape Iseth. For those who have seen Aliens, your escape out into the sort of, as you get into the orbit, it does look a little bit like the destruction of Hadley's Hope.
Mostly.
Yeah.
I mean, we did just kind of nuke them from orbit.
Yeah, sort of.
It was the only way to be sure.
So the ship's shaking around a bit.
Yep.
Once that stops, we'll run some diagnostics, make sure everything's okay, make sure it's working.
A little bit of James Horner music going on.
So I'm taking this bundle of cash and jewelry, and I'm sort of putting it in the cockpit.
I would say that given my mandibles are so tensely like grasped around some bars, I may have broken them slightly from the strength of just. I'll go and find a spare.
The computer immediately sort of that contacts you. So, I am very happy to see you back on the ship.
Oh, very happy to be back on the ship.
There was a system-wide failure some 30 minutes ago. I believe it was the black box interacting with the global network.
When the computer talks, is it heard throughout the ship?
Or just in the cockpit?
You can just base it in the cockpit if you want.
Yeah, just for us three on the flight deck.
Let me put it this way: if it was throughout the ship, then both Tyrrell and myself are hurriedly looking for whatever switch.
Yeah, turn off the
relay.
Money and jewelry go flying.
No, but you're looking to shut the door and decompress the rest of the ship.
There was a system-wide shutdown. The malware that I detected, the computers on the planet were not as fast.
Okay, so
we got that.
You didn't get infected by any. You didn't get any of it at all.
No, I believe it's the fact that I had already shut down the system once that made me immune. I believe none of the ships would actually be able to take off.
So we're the only ones that got out.
Yeah.
I mean, not only that, but if anybody else had got out, they'd have had to have done it before we left because we hit our ion drive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which would have scorched the atmosphere at the very least.
Yeah.
And if you'd hit that ion drive straight from the actual base,
We'd have had,
yeah,
we're only a few, it was the only way to stop people shooting us.
Yeah.
We only just went up and turned, so we were still over the base.
Yeah, let's just say you made sure there was a fair few people who didn't see the space station land.
So if we scorch the atmosphere, so they're not going to be rebuilding anytime soon, really, then?
Well, not in that local area, no.
No, it's
But this is what government grants are for.
You never know, it might be a great place for photosynthesis. If they ever build vegetation, greenhouses.
You've not met many humans, have you? I'm convinced that their entire species must have some kind of extreme form of hay fever because they just try to concrete over anything green.
However,
we just don't like the colour.
However, I am convinced that whatever information is stored in that box must be of great import. Because the malware was not the only thing that was sent.
Are you trying to tell me the malware is just to protect the data that's on the box and that the malware itself, like the box isn't a weapon, it's got something else on?
Yes. It also sent a distress signal.
Where did it send the distress signal?
System-wide.
Oh, it's just gone in every direction.
Do we know what the distress signal was?
Say?
It's current coordinates.
So it's just a series of repeating coordinates.
Yes.
On the planet.
Current.
At the time.
Has it stopped broadcasting?
Well, someone's still got it in their pocket.
But
That's
is
what
it
we're asking.
currently broadcasting coordinates now?
No, but it is back on again.
Well,
The light is back to blinking.
at least it's not broadcasting. So whoever's going to arrive is going to go down to the planet. Can you track the ion drive at all? Could someone follow our ion drive?
They might be able to, but it is more likely that whoever goes to check on the system may be able to access security images from the spaceport, and they'll definitely know at least which ship took off.
I think we solved that problem already.
No, the ion drive would flash the atmosphere, but it wouldn't destroy the infrastructure. The landing of the space station without using any form of maneuvering thrusters to slow its descent should hopefully destroy any recorded evidence.
Hopefully.
However, that, depends if it gives off any kind of electromagnetic pulse as it lands.
Oh. You could have skipped that part.
Well, it's bound to have lots of nuclear reactors on board, and what's going to happen there? They're
The
not
thing
going to give off an
I'm-
EMP pulse, are they?
Depends where the data is stored as well.
The thing I'm worried about is who is going to be responding to this distress signal.
Hmm.
Oh,
What if we
well, I'm
got-
not too worried about that because we've got our ion drive going full speed.
I
at the
am,
moment.
because I will be the one shooting them if they come anywhere near
Ah.
us.
But no, my point is they will be going to the place we were at.
For now. But they'll put two and two together that we buggered off.
I have a cunning plan.
Are you going to make some tea?
It involves traveling for a period of time, not on ion drive, just in case that's traceable. During which time we repaint the ship and change
Maybe
its
what-
electronic signature.
You've been watching Red Dwarf again, haven't you?
That's Firefly as well.
Yeah, well, we could, if we're on thrusters, we could, like say, travel for thrusters for what, change direction, and then reinitiate them.
Joey,
And repaint the ship and change its electronic signature.
And I would suggest
Joey,
perhaps we don't
Lass.
drop the passengers at the nearest planet. We go somewhere else.
The nearest planet,
Depends which way we're heading.
well, depending on which way you're heading, the nearest planets
For
are Jora to the sort of north, Krasov to the east,
no, we're not going
and
there. That's in the red
Zola.
area. That's
Yeah,
the prohibited zone.
and
Surely
Fola,
Jalara or
which is
Fowler.
is down to the southwest.
It's down to Giora and Fowler, really.
Hmm.
Fowler, I think, is more in the direction we really want to go. But I don't know
Still-
what's that Fowler.
Getting back into Earth space is a bit dangerous, though.
Still, Joey will laugh and say, I don't know much about computers or how ships work and things, but somehow I think that their tracking is a little more advanced than just looking at our ship and seeing what color it is.
That's why I'm saying we need to change our electronic signature. So that involves two things. Firstly, the EMF spectrums that the vehicle is emitting, so we can power up some stuff, power down some stuff, change our signature a bit. But more importantly, the friend or foe indicator in the ship's central registry. We are going to have to re-register the ship somehow. For that, we really need some kind of pirate base or something.
With
Or a
regards
friendly
to
galactic empire.
I'll take
Fowler,
your word for it.
I will read. Fowler is a colony. It's a democracy. I will read the notes for you. Fowler is one of 2 words in the Frontier system large enough that it is able to manufacture numerous different types of items, which are used by that planet and exported throughout this region of space. It is inhabited primarily by Lamagos and Talonites, though a good racial mix of other major and minor species also exists here. Most races coexist peacefully with one another. The Fowler spaceport is located on the surface, and it has a rough and tumble reputation. Merchants and fugitives are commonplace, and it is said that there are just as many shady business dealings happening there as there are legitimate ones. Docking is available for small and medium-sized ships, though there is a small port-controlled space station in orbit for larger ships. Shuttles are readily available to ferry passengers back and forth between the planet and the station.
Okay.
Seems perfect since we have a load of fugitives all of a sudden.
So we can ask head office if I'll contact head office if we can get the ship re-registered, and if not, that is just the right kind of place to try and meet somebody who could re-register the ship. Yeah, we need one of these places that can like essentially change the number plates like a car spray shop type thing.
Yeah.
Only a shade under 46 million people on the planet. 47 million.
Well, we're increasing our death count.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it does seem a good place for us to go, though. I think that's probably probably the target for us.
Okay.
It's fairly close. I would say it was just over 40.
But before we head off in that direction, we will turn off the iron drive. We'll spend a few hours on thrusters, and then we'll make the turn and then reinitiate the iron drive.
I will.
Which gives me time to make everybody a cup of tea and do the foot rubs.
Yes, have we got enough tea for everybody?
Oh.
Roughly 1.5. 60. How
much money did we make, actually?
Well, I threw all of the jewellery and cash down as we scrambled for the intercom switch, so it's all scattered all over the cockpit. But assumedly, there's a fair-sized pile here.
Yep. With regards to travel, you're looking at, in terms of FTL, about 5 hours from USEF to Fowler. So, sort of add and subtract a little bit if you're going on thrusters for a while.
I think it makes sense to do that just to be sure. We're not in a massive rush as long as we can.
No. Got enough air and food. Well, we don't have to feed these people on a 10-hour journey, so we may as well go like 5 hours on thrusters. And
I mean, maybe if we do get spotted, we don't want to appear to be in a rush anyway, do we? Really?
Well,
5 hours on thrusters won't get you very far.
No, but it will get us out of sensor range from when we left Ion Drive.
Yeah. And then you're going to make your way to Fowler.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Drop these people off and yeah. So, good news, everybody. You'll be off the ship in 5 hours and safe and sound. And we're going to put you into a place that has more economic opportunities than the one you left. So your lives are going to improve, albeit without family and friends. So, what I've decided to do is to form a survivors group so you can all give each other moral support in the coming months to help you get over the tragedy that's just happened to everybody you've ever known. So you'll be meeting on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m.
I believe humans tend to take things a little less methodically. Tyrrell, do you want to offer your opinion here?
I think she's doing a wonderful job.
Yes, I'm getting the hive organised.
Oh. My apologies. I always thought that humans got more obsessed at such things. I can kind of see why.
Well, that's why I've organised a support group for them.
Well,
Meeting every Tuesday at 8 p.m. at the whatever community centre we find when you get out of here. I'll put the booking in for you.
I don't see we could do any more for him.
And we'll be... You can make yourself tea and biscuits at the community centre and, talk about things to help you process what it is you've lost. And stay together. You're a crowd. You're a team now. You're like a family. Obviously not the family you've just lost. But the next best thing, right? Shared experience that forges friendships and connections that you just can't buy that.
well, that's lucky.
Although by getting onto the ship with money, they sort of did buy that.
You get
That's what I mean.
you get a notice in the cockpit.
Hmm.
Okay.
Subspace communication being attempted.
Do we know where from?
Seems to be located in Upagra,
Where's
Where?
that?
which is in the Earth systems.
Human
You can see it
space.
if you go to Earth.
Oh,
you
yeah,
just
yeah.
look east.
Okay.
Wow, that's a long way away. Do we answer that? Do we know anyone from there?
Might have done business there, but the computer comes online immediately. I apologize.
Or
The distress signal was more. It was transmitting more than I thought it was.
Oh,
oh. What's it transmitted?
Current location.
oh. I'm just reaching behind me for a hammer.
Yeah.
Okay,
Shall I
box.
put the message through?
To the box. I want to say this to the box. If you don't stop broadcasting, you will be physically destroyed by a large metal weight. I show it the hammer.
Oh, yeah. Accept the message then.
I have this funny feeling a hammer won't kill it.
Oh, it will. Turn it to dust.
Is this the ship that currently has my property?
No. Sorry. My face to speak.
I don't know which property you're referring to. This is a cargo ship, transport ship. So, what are you referring to?
I'm referring to the black box you picked up in Akat.
We have a number of passengers on board. If you could give us a description of the box, we'll see if we'll check with them and see if any of them have such a thing. Are you saying that what they've picked up the wrong goods at checkout? I mean, I don't quite follow.
I do believe one of them has a nice chess set.
Yes, your humor is both amusing and grating.
Would you like us
My
to
name-
continue?
My
Oh,
name
so
is
you-
my name is Cleet Navarre. And if anyone
Never
wants
heard of
to
you.
do- if anyone wants to do a computer search, you might find out who he is.
Okay.
Quick,
I'm
Google him.
quite good at that, aren't
Yeah,
I? So
quite literally.
I'll tap that. Oh God, where did my dice end up? There it is. Okay. That's not great. So in my rush, I misspell his name and only get 11. So I've got the "Did you mean" results up.
Did you put Clit Navarro instead?
It's not my fault. It auto completes and it's his console.
It's using a human keyboard, isn't it? So
That's in revenge for calling Gavagan Gaviscon.
It's the autocomplete search results on Tyrrell's computer. So of course it's going to go for the things he searches for.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I hear the clacking of keys. I assume that you're checking out my credentials.
Well, we're on a ship. It does need a certain amount of work to maintain control.
Let me guide you. I'm a representative of the Bass Syndicate.
What, the light beer?
All of you have heard of the Bass Syndicate. They're a wide-ranging criminal organization.
Oh, and
Then I definitely say what I just said then. Definitely.
Well, you've lost a piece of their property. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, I haven't lost. I know exactly where it is.
Right,
I
you're
give you
saying
this
it's
deal. I give you
on our
this
ship?
deal. Yes, I give you this deal. You have 48 hours to bring it to me on Apagra.
Okay. I'm going to run this past you again. Give us a description of the box and receipt showing your ownership of it, and I will enforce that law as law on this ship with whoever's got it. We are carrying passengers. I don't know what box this is. I can't just go, anyone with a box, you've got to hand it over. I need a description of your box along with your purchase receipt, and I will find it. And if it is yours and it's legally yours, I will enforce that law on this ship.
You
That's what
amuse
I can
me.
do for you.
You have 48 hours to return my property to Apagra. If you do,
Okay.
I will allow you to live. If not, I will place a contract out on you immediately.
Apagra is somewhat out of our way, so of course you'll have to pay for delivery, and of course you'll have to pay for our sheriff's services.
Oh, I will be paying for. Don't you worry. I will be paying for delivery of the box. The payment will be you three being allowed to live.
Hang on, it's only heard two of us talk.
Well, I mean, technically, I did add a couple of little sprinkles of speech.
Okay, well, I got a counter offer. You already gave us your name and you don't know ours. Also, I can quite easily drop, once I find it, whatever this box is, into the wake of our ship, just as a fuck you.
Yes, you could.
So I suggest you negotiate more reasonably with us. Description of the box, along with whatever purchase receipts, and we will go and find whichever passenger has your box, and we will deal with them.
48 hours.
Or we'll take a
And
contract out against your name.
The
I
signal
think it's
goes.
gone.
Okay, well, let's immediately take a contract out against him. And we could use some of this money we just took.
I really think that whoever that is does not give a shit about contracts and receipts, Simara.
I know. He obviously doesn't have a receipt. It's not even his. He's just trying to take it because he's some kind of criminal minor boss. So no, we'll take a contract out against him using some of this money, and that's him dealt with.
Yeah. Using his own syndicate.
No, I'll maybe get a different one.
Would 48 hours be enough to get there? Because it seems like quite a long way. I don't know if we'd actually make it.
Guess what? I did all the measurements earlier.
Okay.
Good to know.
If you went from Eseth directly to Apagra, it takes about, and I'll tell you because I did the it would take about 15 hours. If, however, you decided to go a nice scenic route and try to come in from the east through Rilar, go through the Rilaran system.
I'm not getting Relara involved in this. Fuck that.
It could take up to 36 hours, which means you'd be cutting it close for 48 hours.
What about
Okay,
just
well-
dropping people off at Fowler first?
I do have an idea, guys. Let's build a Faraday cage.
Or to shield the signal. That's probably a good idea.
Our computer can clearly detect it, so we have a means of testing the success. We'll build a Faraday cage along with whatever sci-fi signal damping tech there is.
Having said that, he's told us we have 48 hours. Whether he loses our signal or not, surely that's not his problem anymore.
If he loses the signal, then we'll just tell him that we threw it into the wake. If he even knows who we are, all he got was a location in space.
Yeah, but if we shield
And our
it, then
voices.
he doesn't know where we are.
How do you know he
so-
hasn't got some sort of voice recognition software thingy?
We speak through transcoders, so I have the same voice as every Talonite in the universe. Actually, there's 3 settings.
Oh yeah, so do I. But
Oh, I don't.
Lara.
So Tyrrell's fucked.
Well, Tyrrell, you know you're doing what you need to do for the rest
Just
of us.
happened to be
I love the
Talonite.
idea. I love the idea that you're going to the plan to outmaneuver a criminal organization is to change the tone on your Vox box.
Do you think we could maybe make up a decoy?
Potentially. I think the first thing to do is subdue the signal we've got.
All right.
I think the Faraday cage is a good idea.
This is where the GM will throw in one other.
Spanner.
Considering you're
Caveat.
going to Fowler. No. One other option for you to consider, although it's not without cost, literally. Dump your ship. The only
Eat
problem,
cats!
the only problem with that is you would no longer be in an official.
Yeah. Why though? All he got is a location in space.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't keep broadcasting, we're fine.
Not.
Yeah. We just need to stop the signal. You can't stop the signal, Mal. But you can
Oh,
with a
and
Faraday
before
cage.
me.
But you can with a Faraday cage and whatever sci-fi signal damping tech exists in the future. So
And
We're gonna
sexy
try and-
woman robot.
we're going to try and jury rig one by dismantling Tyrrell's love bot.
Yes, the love bot, that's it.
And because it's Tyrrell, it's probably a replicant love bot. I can cross-franchise joke.
Mhm.
Well, I better get a new one. That was nearly worn out anyway.
I don't even want to know.
Oh,
No matter how far I thought that joke was going to go, I wasn't expecting
Oh, we
that
can
one.
say
take it
more
even
now. There's
further.
another 2 holes.
Oh.
5 if you use the eye sockets.
There will be no skill fucking on this. Anyway,
Oh, did we lose advertising revenue again?
We haven't lost our viewers so far.
your best chance of getting the items you need is probably going to be at Perla, actually.
Okay,
Uh,
but a Faraday cage, like the basic dampening, surely we can do that from jury rig parts, right? Even if we can't completely.
You would require a. I'd have to say an engineering roll.
We can make it out of like metal mesh, can't we? And
Hmm.
I've got knowledge tech.
I have craft repair.
Um,
I don't have knowledge tech.
Well-
I do, so I don't. I've got a toolkit.
Oh, that's nice.
I would say
For a pilot.
both roles. I would say both roles are going to be necessary. The knowledge to actually, this is the item. This is the item we need, and then the craft to actually build the thing.
Yeah, we'll take 20.
Hang on, I just saw actually. I do have a disabled device skill. Do we want to disable it, or will that disable the information in it? Do you think?
Depends what's meant by disabled device, but yeah, we're trying to disable the transmitter.
Yeah, that's right.
But if that's its only network port, well, as long as you don't disable it in such a way as it can't be re-enabled. But I think the point is this is a plot MacGuffin, and it doesn't have an on-off switch.
Well, I think
your disabled device skill is probably identifying on-off switches.
I mean, I think probably it's the Faraday cage is a good idea because it would take a while to disable it anyway, and it could be still transmitting during that time.
Yeah.
So, knowledge tech to come up with the this is how we build it, and then the craft to actually build it.
Okay, well, we'll take 20, so I get 28 on the knowledge check, and then the craft I hand over to Tyrrell.
If you need me to jump up and down on anything to put it into shape, I'm your crustacean.
Just remember, if you're taking a 20, I will allow the 20 because you're not under any stress.
Well, major stress.
Well,
Not
there's no time constraint.
Is that both
actually, that kind of is, but
not to the point where you can't take a 20.
Yeah.
Is that both of us can take 20, or just
both of you can take a 20?
Okay, that's what we'll do then.
Very nice.
It just means it's going to take it's going to take 20 times as long to figure out how you're going to build it, and 20 times as long to actually build it.
We need it to work.
We'll do it while we're under impulse drive anyway. So
yeah.
So what total does that give you, Phil?
Total for a 20. What's that? So that's 17 plus 20.
17.
Yeah.
What was the 17? Your skill of 17.
No, sorry, skill 6. So I just rolled the dice roll was 7. There's no dice roll, was there?
There's no dice roll to take 20.
Because you're taking 20. That's the whole blooming point, you plonker.
26 then.
I'm thinking, where the hell's 36 coming from?
That's good.
37. He went further than that. 37.
Holy shit.
Just rescale all the numbers in the game to cope with Phil. No, it's 26. 28 and 26.
Yep. You get a nice sort of box.
Oh, I apologize. It was knowledge tech, so it was 26 and 26, not
That's
28
fine.
and 26.
Enough to put the black box inside.
And check the computer if it's still broadcasting.
Broadcasting, yes, in the sense that the signal, it's still sending the signal, but the signal is not going anywhere.
The only thing is, did we really have to? Couldn't we take the abdominal socket out of your sex doll before we built the Faraday cage into there? It's going to make it less practical to carry around. Maybe we could just angle grind the top and the bottom off so that it's a smaller package.
Deep-seated tech. Can we stomach it? Anyway, are you firing on the ion and going to Fowler?
We will
eventually, yeah.
Okay. I will say it takes about 4.5 hours.
Okay, so there's 2 things we want to accomplish here. Well, 3 things. We've got to dump this lot of freeloaders off because they're not paying for anything beyond this point. And we need to take out a contract on Clit Eastwood, and we need to see it to make inquiries about getting our ship redesignated.
All I will say is, if you actually put out a contract on Clit Eastwood, I just want to see the poor person's face who actually has to write that down. And more importantly, I got to worry about the future tech porn actor who's about to be hunted down within an inch of his life.
It's got to be like you throw in the NPC at some opportune moment in the background being assassinated because we made a spelling error.
Yeah, we want to get rid of these people on board as well. We want to get rid of them before we do any of the reassigning registration of the ship or repainting. They don't need to know any of that.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now coming in to landing at your new home.
Due to the size of the ship, you will be docking at the space station in orbit.
Oh, okay.
Well, yours isn't a small or medium ship.
I thought we were. Okay.
Is it?
I don't know.
I thought we were medium actually, but
yeah.
Hold on.
I didn't think it was that big. We only got 24 passengers at a push, you said. So doesn't sound particularly large.
I don't remember, honestly.
You basically got a hauler, which is a colossal size ship.
Oh,
really? Okay, that's a new mental image.
That explains why I have 3 bedrooms.
Cargo capacity 3,300 tons. You probably could have taken a lot more, but you didn't have time.
I could have taken everyone's money.
You didn't have time.
I feel terrible. I could have got them on board and taken the money after, and anyone that was broke, just throw them out an airlock.
You didn't have time.
Oh.
There wasn't enough time to get everyone on that ship and off before that space station hit.
Could have got a lot more money.
I think we've lost Phil.
We haven't we?
We have. Shall we take a 5-minute break just as you've
but I'm just looking how how his space is frozen and how the blurring works. It looks like he kind of has like a fringe.
He's got a fringe anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you know, that kind of fringe.
Not really. It's just a little bit blurred.
Just me seeing that then.
Yeah, just you. It's because you've got your own glasses on.
We will deal with you guys at Fowler
the right ones.
After this 5-minute break.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, internet drop that time.
Aye. Unlike the Friday game where it was my internet dropping, today it's yours. But we just took 5 minutes, so.
Yeah.
The only other things to happen while you were offline was we blew up another planet.
You're missing all the good stuff, Phil.
Yeah.
I was thinking though, like I was running through in my head how we could set up some kind of isolated computer terminal so that these people could talk to their banks, but then so we could take the rest of their money before we let them off. But the problem is, I think their bank systems are probably down.
Yeah, it probably is, isn't it? Because it'd be on that planet.
Yeah. However, we are going to ensure that everybody has a shower so that we can go through their pockets and steal all their money. Make sure, like, they did give us everything.
Definitely not going to referring to the characters as the heroes in any of my literature from here on in.
We have heroic tendencies, but you have to maximize every situation you're in, right? You know, we're a crew on the raggedy edge of space.
We need to hire a hitman.
We do actually. No, that genuinely, and we need to get our ship re-registered. And the worst part is, like, if you think about how, you know, sci-fi scanners are going to work, we probably need to change the electronics on the ship, like how things are configured, make some config changes so that its signatures are different. You know, reroute some wiring somewhere, and well, we probably actually a ship like this will have everything in quadruple anyway, right? You've got multiple systems in case you lose a bit of ship, so we could probably just switch to a different set of primary systems, use the secondaries as primaries.
Possibly, yes. That might probably do it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and then maybe we'll replace some part on the ship, put in like a different air filtration system or something. Something that's not too expensive, but would have an impact on the EMF if you change its manufacturer or whatever, rather than replacing like for like, you put in a different thing. That's probably not too big a deal to do, actually. But the harder part is going to be whatever galactic ship registries there are. Filing off all those VIN numbers.
Would it be easier, perhaps, if we registered as another ship of the same type?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. But, you know, records are going to have to be forged probably at the shipyard that it was made at to do a proper job. So there's going to be bribes, and there's going to be paperwork, and there's going to be criminals alive who know about it. Like, there's no way of doing it without any evidence at all, because we're not connected enough to do it, right?
Make sure the gang they work for.
No, more importantly, you know, it's not like you're part of a criminal organization. I mean, you're basically you're space truckers.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, actually, if our DHL supervisor has any kind of contacts, because
Maybe.
this kind of situation might, not our particular scenario, but the need to re-register a ship might be something that's come up before.
Yeah.
You wish to contact Davina?
I think it's worth I think it's worth having a little casual chat and seeing if, like, maybe asking if she's ever had to re-register a ship before, you know, in casual conversation.
Yeah, don't tell her exactly why.
Well, obviously.
I have a friend.
We broke down.
you have arrived at the orbiting space station of Fowler.
Should we maybe do that call before we arrive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we know what we've got to do on the planet.
Hmm.
Makes sense.
Okay.
So we'll all gather in the cockpit, listen nervously.
Turning off the intercom.
Know where that switch is now.
hmm
Don't worry. We just experienced some turbulence. By the way, is there anyone here who can fly a plane?
We don't want to go shipwide, so we've just destroyed a planet. Can we change the name of the ship?
Surely you can't be serious.
I am, and don't call
I
me
am
Shirley.
serious. I am serious, and don't call me Shirley. One of the great reverse lines.
Just say that another more successful company has also taken the name DHL, and we just want to change the name of the vehicle.
No, we don't want to register a name change. We need to actually forge a whole new ship.
Davina McNichol speaking.
Oh, hello, Davina. This is DHL.
Ah, how are you doing? Have you found a safe haven whilst we deal with this ongoing situation between the Earth Defence Force and the Talonites?
Yeah, that's not one of our major issues at the moment. War with Earth is not. We picked up some refugees. We're helping out.
Oh, where from?
I forget what was it
Somewhere we like.
Yes.
I forget what. Let me look at the map.
No. Giora.
Oh,
Still a bit close, in my opinion.
well, yeah. Won't that be on the news services and stuff now? That's happened.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's why I've said a different planet. I interjected with a different planet because I was worried Tyrrell was going to say place us at the scene.
But,
Jura? I didn't know there was any upheaval in Jura. Oh well. I hope you're getting decent. I hope you're getting a decent value of money for the transportation.
Simara's doing a brilliant job. She's in charge of customer relations now. Yeah,
I haven't seen a credit line come in for that job. Didn't you take any money for transporting these refugees?
Well, it's a it's a humanitarian mission. We're doing it for
I see. So it was cash in hand.
No. We're doing it for what's the word I'm looking for? I can't remember what I'm going to say. It's
Charity.
Yeah, it's a marketing thing, isn't it? We're doing it to make ourselves look good.
We think it's going to give us an in with a fixer. Some new business opportunities.
Oh, well, you'll have to let me know how that goes. We've been looking to get more. We've been looking to get more work in the frontier systems.
Miss Davina is on our side, though, isn't she? She's not.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's right. Technically, just remember that she's first and foremost company.
Technically, no one's on our side, I suppose.
She will stick, like any good company person. She will stick up for members of the company as long as they're doing right by the company.
Davina, could you settle a bet that we've had a crew We have money riding on it. Okay, this is a wager that we need an answer to. Ask her, Tyrrell. Ask her.
Well, yeah. Samara seems to think you would have you'd know how to re-register a vessel, but I don't think you would ever have done that because it's not above board enough.
Why on earth would the only reason I could possibly think to need to re-register a vessel is if you found yourself doing something rather shady.
That's what I said. That's exactly what I said.
Yes, but I still think that she'd be connected enough to know how it's done. That's the actual wager.
Joey is just noisily slurping something in the background.
Well, I mean, I suppose, I suppose technically, if you were to talk to the right people, they could change the transponder number and signal either by giving you a new transponder or simply changing the ident on your current one, or swapping it or something like that. Would make you very difficult for us to track. Of course, you would have to send us the ident, the new ident signature. I mean, that is a company vehicle you've got.
No, it's not happening. This is just.
Yes, I was right. She knew. I win.
Damn it. Why do you have to be so underhanded, Davina?
That's 20 to me.
Now, I would never suggest anyone do that. Depending on where you were, the amount of money required to do such a thing and to forge paperwork would be anywhere from upsetting to excruciatingly painful in terms of the amount of money you might have to give over. But I suppose it's technically possible.
I'm currently organising all the piles of money that we got off the refugees into different note sizes so we can count it and putting the jewellery into groups.
Now listen. As you're on a humanitarian guild, this actually builds in quite nicely for us. All our ships that are in the immediate vicinity of Iseth, and you're not too far away. I've basically sent out a signal. You should be getting it momentarily. Basically telling everyone to make their way to Iseth in an attempt to help with the humanitarian effort. Where are you at the moment?
What's happened at Iseth?
Well, there was some sort of system-wide failure. The orbiting space station actually crashed into the surface of the planet. There's been massive casualties. It's being considered a terrorist act. I'm sure local authorities will be. Well,
is this another Earth Defense Force attack?
Well, we're not sure. No one seems to be taking responsibility for the action. But I have stated that all our ships in the vicinity will help. How far away are you from Iseth? You said that you were picking up refugees from Julia, so you can't be too far.
Well, you obviously got to drop these people off first. Then we can go straight there. Maybe 15, 20 hours.
The closest place is SF.
No, we're just coming into Faller, actually.
Yes,
but we're
I
not-
know,
we're
but you're not telling her that. That's what I'm saying. She thinks we're going south.
I think Joey's got too much snail shell in his snail juice.
I'm saying that as a player, not as a character. I think I would just kind of spit something out.
So
thinking-
can I
digging
can
yourself
I
into a
add you
hole.
to the official list of craft that are going to head to ASF for?
Yeah, we should be able to get there relatively soon. We're just coming into Faller at the moment.
Oh, that's nice. Excellent. Yes. If you can do a quick turnabout with your, I'll tell them you'll be there in what, allowing for refueling, 12 hours.
Well,
Excellent. I will
probably an
send-
extra day on that because we do need to replace the air filtration system. We've been having some problems with the unit. We're going to put a different make and model in.
Okay then. In that case,
absolutely.
there are some parts. There are some parts in emergency foods and so on that we've got in Fowler. I can put you down as one of the cargo ships to take it back to ESF. That's perfect. Wonderful. I'll set that up just now. You will get your order through on that one within the next couple of hours. Wonderful.
But we're not going to have another Kabashi system. We're just done with those things. They're a nightmare.
It's fine. It's fine. Look, it's simple. You just take the food stuff, the tech supplies, just send it to ESF. Just remember, you'll be landing on the far side of the planet, far away from where the actual. It seems from the reports I've gotten so far, the people who took off ignited an ion fusion drive on their way out, completely destroyed the atmosphere in that area. So it's all
bloody hell. Who would do a thing like that? Do they have any leads? I mean, they're going to get these bastards, right?
I am absolutely convinced of it.
Any details on the ship at all?
Not so far. Not so far.
It's just if we're heading into potentially dangerous area where there's terrorist activity, we'd like to know what we're looking for. So could you let us know as soon as there's any information at all?
I certainly will. I'll send the order over so they can start loading up the food stuff and tech equipment. Anything else? Any other wagers you need answered?
Well, give us another day. I'm sure we'll come up with something. You're a latest topic for bets, I'm afraid, Davina.
I am underwhelmed. Davina out.
You two are really grinding my thorax right now.
You need to relax, Jerry. You haven't shot anyone for a while, have you? That's
No,
what it is.
you need to stop making up rubbish because at some point, like you very nearly did, you're going to make something up that doesn't quite add up with something else. And even Davina, who's a little bit flaky at times, is going to notice.
Look, with stories like this, I could get into politics.
But you're not in politics.
Joey, look, we're still we're still 30 minutes out from Faller. Why don't you flush one of the refugees out the airlock? It'll make you feel better. Or practice your knife throwing on one or something.
I don't do knife throwing.
Might be good time
Really
to start.
not sure what you do.
I'll go and do some target practice, but not with real people involved, thank you.
Okay.
But what she said was very interesting. Replacing your...
Yes, it's a lot simpler than I thought.
One. We don't have to involve anybody else. We could steal one from someone else's ship.
From the same type of ship.
Yeah.
Good point.
Well, certainly,
they would
being
know
at the space station, being at the space station, if you're thinking along those lines, you certainly have ships of that size, of your size and thereabouts, because that's all that really docks here. It's only smaller ships that can actually go planetside.
The problem with stealing one, though, is we might accidentally steal one that has a debt against it.
Possibly better being dead.
You know, it could be a highly mortgaged ship or something. We'd technically become owned by whoever owns that ship.
That is true.
I don't like the sound of that. Unless we can switch. But then if we ever get boarded and inspected, that'll turn up. So, mind you, this is a huge ship. I'm sure we could hide it. Still, I think it would be better to have a cleaner registration. I've been thinking of names as well. I was going for Trouble, No Thanks, TNT.
Sounds good. Yeah.
It's dynamite.
I take it we can't just take the one we've got and reprogram it then.
Well, potentially, yes, but you're going to need computer equipment that isn't on board to do it. They're probably write once, read many tech, aren't they? But
I mean, the thing about transponders, I mean, they're you could get it overridden, yes. You could get it replaced officially, yes. You could nick one and swap them over, or swap out. You know, all of those are doable.
Because I like that idea, because if we nick one and swap them, then when they take the other ship out, we're free and clear. Because they think we're dead.
The other ship will go out without a transponder on it.
No, we swap them over. We put ours in theirs.
Well, then they become DHL when the whole ruse gets exposed.
Well, if they get destroyed by the syndicate, we're free and clear.
Well, if we're going to be, we said we'd be a day to replace our air filtration system.
Could we
quite close to the 48 hours, doesn't it?
It is, but could we then say we've heard that the syndicate is looking for this ship and sell them the information for the location of it? Make some money as well.
Oh my God. You're a genius, Tyrrell. We need to do it just as the 48 hours is up. Mind you, they're going to message them, aren't they? And then hear different people on board.
What's made Phil a genius?
We were thinking of swapping our transponder over with somebody else and then selling the information as to where we are to the syndicate.
Oh my God.
We'll have to take out that ship's communications so that it only works short range.
Well, when we're in there taking the transponder, we can do something like that.
We need to disconnect their bigger aerials on the outside of their ship.
And when the syndicate kills them, we're free and clear. They think
I could just see Ronnie internally screaming at all this.
No.
And then later, we just report to Davina that our transponder's been stolen.
Good idea.
I have said this before, and I will say it again. The nice thing often happens in scenarios, in sessions, where the players go left when you thought they would go right, but the left path is far more interesting.
We're not really going left, though. We're kind of digging through the ground and out to the other side of the world.
We're doing donuts.
But it's still more interesting.
Donuts are awesome. There's lots of smoke and noise.
But it's I've managed to do the thing where again, the overarching plot is still happening. You guys have barely impacted it.
Ooh.
Which is fun.
So you don't approve, though, Joey?
I'm not saying I don't approve. I want to save our own skins or
Well, that
Okay.
was the plan.
shells or whatever. But
So here's
point
the
is, I'm not well versed on your skullduggery sort of stuff. You know me. I like to take things face on, and I'm just a little worried that if you make this plan too complex, and someone's gonna find out that not quite everything adds up.
It's a beautiful plan. This is it. In 2 days, our ship gets destroyed by the Bass Syndicate.
Mhm.
So, what we do is we're going to take our transponder, put it on another ship, damage their long range communications so they can only communicate with ground control and still will have no idea that the long range antenna isn't working.
Mhm.
We take their transponder, they fly off, and this happens. We do it tomorrow. We're going to be in port 24 hours while we replace our air filtration system. They fly off. We then fit their transponder to our ship for a couple of days. We'll just sit in port for a couple of days, whatever, doesn't matter. They've flown off with our transponder and no long-range communications, which they won't realise until the Syndicate tries to talk to them to say, give us our box, and when they don't respond, they get blown up. And
Yeah,
the
I got
reason the
that.
Syndicate will find them is because we'll sell the information as to where that ship is to the Syndicate.
I got that, but I have two questions. First one is, how are we going to steal, or rather swap, transponders without anything going wrong? My second question is, when we sell the information, how are we going to present it? As an anonymous source, as somebody else entirely? What?
Well, we've heard through the grapevine that the Syndicate are looking for the DHL, the ship, cargo ship. And
Oh, yeah,
we've
of
got
course.
information to
Got
sell.
that.
That's just how we do it. Yeah, anonymously, yeah.
And we
Sorry, I thought you were telling me.
We'll create a disposable bank account for them to transfer the funds to, and we will send a transmission to Uppsala or wherever it was.
Perhaps we could get on board this other ship as dressed as maintenance crew. That'll give us a reason to sabotage their communications as well.
We have a day to figure out how to do that because we're going to be in port for a day.
Yeah.
Well,
when the maintenance crew come to fix our aircon, we nick the uniforms.
Oh, for goodness.
No, it doesn't need to. No.
Okay.
We don't need to leave.
Surely,
people
with
tied
all
up
that
for days.
money you've acquired, we can just buy some maintenance uniforms.
Exactly. We've just got a bundle of cash and jewelry. We got stuff for bribes.
You're spending all the money. I've got a sex robot to buy.
Look,
You keep cutting mine up.
You humans are so shallow.
get into port, pick our target, and then work out the plan.
Yeah. I imagine I'll be doing the more physical swapping and things. I'm big, but I can be quiet when I want to be.
You will be on the away team, yes.
Good. That I can understand.
Okay.
And also that means that if something does happen, which I very much think it will, in terms of you getting your plan exactly watertight, I won't be held responsible. Kind of like with the black box thing.
None of us are responsible for that. The only one who committed a crime was Tyrrell, and that was when he blasted out the atmosphere.
Well, I mean, I seem to remember someone plugging it into the net.
Yeah, that doesn't mean I'm responsible for a terrorist act, though, does it? I just connected my device up.
I think if this were a US legal drama and Simara was on trial, the defense lawyer would say they admitted to plugging it in, but they admitted that they plugged it in, but they never admitted to intent. They had absolutely no idea that was going to happen.
It's true. It didn't. It's like when you've got a broken microphone and you plug the microphone into the computer and you've no idea all the wiring's all screwed up and it short circuits the computer and then the USB port dies or the I/O bus or the motherboard fries or whatever. All you did was do something quite innocent. You plugged a device in. So how is it my fault that a planet died?
It didn't die.
Yeah,
Albeit
It got murdered.
Albeit at the moment it's on the global equivalent of a life support machine, but you know.
Yeah, that's what 750 million people or whatever.
A lot of people die.
Do you know how many people die in a Talonite war? And those lives
None,
matter.
because they're not Talonites.
So I think we've got a workable plan anyway.
Yeah. We need to go in, we need to schmooze up with some ships, find one that's not got loads of debt against it, and talk to some crews and stuff, and maybe sleep with a few people. I haven't done that in a while. Not since the divorce.
This already seems way too complicated for my liking.
Didn't even know you were married.
I'm not. I'm divorced.
Well, she's not now, is she?
No, we're married.
Here's the idea. Here's the thing. The plan is fairly straightforward, which means when I start writing all the details for next session, we can get right into it. The more important thing for a bit more prep is the fact that you have one thing you also need to take into consideration.
Is that we're all nutters. Well, actually, those two, I'm quite level-headed by the sounds of it.
That was pretty much a given. No, I mean, this is a space station.
Not a moon.
There is security.
Mm-hmm.
And not just the electronic kind.
Well, I presume that, yes.
Yeah. We've got to do some undercover work. So it starts with under the bed covers and ends with dressing up in somebody else's uniform.
Because I'll really blend in.
Well, this is the advantage of having been on a planet where all races are pretty much represented to some degree or another.
Yeah, I did wonder that. And also, I do have fairly good stealth, oddly enough.
Well, you can carry the toolbox for us.
I can carry the toolbox.
Stealth.
If anything, I should be the one to kind of go on ahead and open the doors for you.
I have a feeling.
You might be doing a spacewalk.
You might be the only person with stealth.
Oh, goody! Splitting the party.
Yeah, I do have stealth.
Well, hey.
Yeah, but how much?
I've got +6.
Okay, same as me. All right.
That's okay. I can talk my way in anywhere. It's fine. I have a different form of stealth.
Well,
in your face kind.
You mean sitting on in your face?
Well, it's so overt is covert.
Yeah. You do the whole clipboard approach to stealth. I do the whole get invited in. It's fine.
So,
can we get uniforms on the space station, or do we have to go to the planet?
Don't worry about those details. We'll sort that out later. We got to pick our target.
I think Ron is going to worry about those details.
No, Ron will worry about those details.
First, we're going to pick our target, right? So we have to meet the crew. Find out what they're like. Make sure we're dipping on people we don't like. And
well, there is a bar.
Aren't in debt.
There is a bar. You got to remember that that whilst the space station is here, there is a bar. There's not an awful lot of what you would call shops or stores or anything. There's just an awful lot of, there's a bar and a diner for people to get a quick bite to eat, but mostly it's, shuttles down to planet side because that's where most people are going.
Well, the big ships
Nasty.
getting loaded are obviously what we're interested in as we approach. So
Yeah.
we need to sort of make our short list of ships, figure
Yeah.
out what they are, hit their transponders, find out their names and stuff, and then try to meet the crew. And what we're looking for is a ship that's either, that is either unloaded and near the start of unloading, i.e. they're doing the pods right at the back or whatever order it goes in, or is being loaded and right at the start, so it's going to be there in 2 days or 1 day.
I
One
thought
day
you
is
would
the
look.
latest.
I thought you would look for ships based on the attractiveness of the crew.
Darling, when you're sleeping with things that aren't the same species, they're all zebras.
And on that note,
Oh,
given
Next
that I'm-
episode will be sleeping with zebras. Then
that could be the heading for the next, the title for the next session. I am going to call a halt to the session there because I now have to write up a little bit of info for the various ships and so on, so that you guys can do your heist. So
I was going to say a heist again implies that there's some sort of organization and success involved. I really honestly am going to fuck this up so much.
Organising it. Come on.
this is the very definition of organized crime. I mean, you can't get more organized than
Yeah,
this.
but
this is organised as we get. This is.
I'm just
What?
pessimistic
Sorry,
about
do
this.
you want spreadsheets and bullet point lists?
No, not at all. It's just that we can come up with this plan and it may seem to make sense, but Ronnie will probably have loads of stuff up his sleeve. He could roll really bad die rolls.
You can't.
just-
You've got like loads of conviction every session. You just need to go at a pace where we get a refresh on conviction. It's fine.
Anyway, thank you everyone who was watching. Thank you everyone who will be watching on later on after watching the recording. Thanks everyone, and we will see you next time. Bye bye.
Ta-ta.